Welcome to another episode of The Craft presented by Tequila Corralejo. I'm Sarah Kate Kilby and we're here in Tampa, Florida to sit down with Tampa Bay Rowdy's assistant coach Stuart Dobson and Louisville City FC's assistant coach Scott Budnick. Let's get into upbringings, inspirations, and the craft of coaching. Don Miguel Hidalgo, who is known for launching the Mexican War of Independence, was born in Hacienda Corralejo, Mexico, home of the Corralejo Distillery. Let's hear about Dobson and Budnick's roots and how they got their start in coaching.
I love football, and I love everything about it, but most particularly I love goalkeeping. 25, 30 years ago, growing up in Kentucky, there wasn't a ton of youth soccer or football, much less any kind of instruction or coaching, and so it was literally me ruining the family VCR, wearing it out, and just going out and trying to recreate and imitate and mimic some of the movements I was seeing. I got to be decent at it. And I recognized along that journey that it'd be really good to have someone who had a little bit of knowledge about this to maybe help me out, because I have a ton of questions. I retired from football and then went into the law, and I practiced law for 10, 12 years. But I'd always found opportunities to coach a little bit. One day I looked up and I was doing all soccer and very little in the way of law practice. And then from there, John Hackworth came in and became the head coach at Louisville. And through a mutual friend of ours, I said, do you have any need? And he said, well, come on in for a couple of days and see how you do. And then that was that.
I started getting into coaching. I did a little bit while I played, I played indoor. And I wanted to play outdoor in the MLS, but you were already there, so there was no room for me. So
I wasn't really rewriting the record books.
So when I finished playing, I got offered a job. Didn't anticipate getting into the goalkeeping coaching career, but Omid Namazi, the head coach of Hartford Athletic, offered me a job because I'd played with him on a team back in Philadelphia, and he said, would you like to be my goalkeeper coach? And I'm like, yeah, let's go with it. And funnily enough, my first coaching job was coaching Tony Meola, and then from there I went to college, UCSB, Santa Barbara, then went to University of Akron, and then I got offered a job, Peter Meller, who was a legendary goalkeeper and goalkeeper coach, and he gave me the chance to come to the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Still here.
Still here.
Still here, never leaving.
Corralejo is the first estate in Mexico to produce tequila as a commercial venture, and among only a chosen few tequila distilleries granted the right to produce tequila in a province other than Jalisco. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work to reach a level not everyone can reach. So what does it take to get to a pro coaching level?
For me, I draw upon my experiences as a player almost daily. But I also draw upon experiences from real life, and how do you interrelate to people, What makes this person motivated to do what and why, and how can you in a good way manipulate that so that he or she performs, and just be ready for anything and see what works.
You've got to be one step ahead of the players, really. You've got to have answers to their questions. You've got to put on a performance for them where they're respect you.
More than anything, I think you just got to be truthful and honest and say, if they ask you a question and you don't particularly know the answer, I don't know, but here's what I think, but I'll go do the homework and get back to you as soon as possible.
I think as a professional coach, you've got to have that quality of showing up every day and performing to a high standard. Yeah. As long as you're showing up and you've got the enthusiasm and players see you giving 100%, they're going to respect what you do. We were on the bench, we didn't dress some games. Some games you do dress and don't play well, so we've been through it. So it's just constantly feeding information to players.
It's so psychologically demanding, and to help someone go through all that and maneuver and negotiate some of the twists and turns, is pretty neat for me.
For nearly 250 years, the distillation methods of Hacienda Corralejo have been preserved, refined, and developed by their local community into a tradition of tequila. Today, you can experience the tradition in Tequila Corralejo, which is still proudly family and Mexican owned and operated. Much like Corralejo adapts within tradition, coaching also involves never-ending adaptation.
You start off the season with a squad of 20, 22 players. That's your budget, that's what you've got. So that's the hand you dealt. And then things happen, you know, you can read all the technical books, you know about the tactics, but then it's like, all right, all of a sudden we've got 13 players for this game. It's constantly, you know, adapting to different situations. It is the challenge of coaching, I think.
So I left professional football, went into the law, and came back. And so when I got back into the game, the whole game had changed. I had to do a ton of like homework just to get caught up as to what the advancements were in the game and how things had changed. Because at one instance, you've got to be able to be flexible and to manage that, your own sort of skill set, your own sort of education. But on the other hand, some of the skill sets that I first had or taught myself back in the cow pasture in Kentucky are still applicable today. The adaptability came more internally because I had to get caught up to speed right away because I was doing bank loans and subordinated debt for 10 years.
The game has evolved, but fundamentally it's still the same.
Corralejo tequila is exclusively made with 100% Blue Weber agave, hand-harvested from fields in the state of Guanajuato. Let's hear what coaching is made of and what advice these coaches have for those aspiring to be in the same position.
I mean, football, like life, will kick you when you least expect it. And you have to be able to understand who and what you are and what you care about. And it's really your lodestar, you know, that value, self-concept. So for me, it would be know yourself, you know, be true to yourself.
It's not a 9 till 11 a.m. type of job. You know, it's long days and it's long hours at night time. You know, but if you love that, it's not long hours. Dive right in there, get as much information as you can, you know, take it all in, and if you want more and more, go into coaching.
You're finding value in the development of others, right? So it helps to have a little bit of a lover's heart, you know, or a servant's heart, so to speak, you know, and thick skin and a little bit of humility, you know. Fortunately, I got the thick skin part taken care of.